And here's a 6-year man, Austin Ekeler.
A solid run on first down. Gain of 7 leaves him with a 2nd and 3.
A nice run here early on. It doesn't take a great play caller to realize you want to establish a guy of his caliber with runs like this early because they'll pay dividends as the game progresses.
From the 30 on 2nd down. Herbert. Out left, he's got it to Everett. A gain of 5, good enough for the first down.
First down catch there by Gerald Everett, who made the move to the Los Angeles Chargers, knowing that they enjoy utilizing their tight ends. Remember Antonio Gates, Hunter Henry? Everett hoping to be next in line in that position to give them big-time performances.
And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. Another catch for him there. This one good for 11. First down. Here's Herbert. Got an open man. It's Josh Palmer. And they'll get to him after a gain of 7 to the 47. On 2nd down, Ekeler trying to find a lane, but instead he'll get back to the line of scrimmage and no more. He got maybe a half yard at most, but officially they'll be left with a 3rd and 2. They'll come to the line, needing only 2 yards to gain the first here. 3rd and 2, Herbert. And he fires one that's intercepted. Picked up by Deion Jones, the linebacker. And the Browns will have solid field position here as they take over at the 45-yard line. Well, that is a quick lesson on how difficult this defense is to throw against an interception on their initial drive of the ballgame.
Now we know why their offensive staff spent the entire week awake trying to prepare for this one, because you can't totally shy away from throwing the football, but at the same time you're looking at them and going, where are the weaknesses? How are we going to move it?
One of the top defenses in the NFL for a reason. We just saw one example right there. That's good for 21 yards and a first down.
In 2021, for the first time in his NFL career, Kareem Hunt missed significant time due to injury. He ended up suiting up for only 8 games, putting up 560 total yards and 5 touchdowns. Getting back to full health, he can easily double both of those totals across a full season.
A first carry now for Nick Chubb. And a solid run down inside the 30. It's a 6-yard gain on the ground, and that'll make it 2nd and 4. The Browns had 2-2 through the first 4 weeks of the season. Charles, they were losers last time out. What do you think they need to do differently here?
Well, I don't think it needs to be as drastic as burning up last week's game tape or not watching it, but the attitude has to be what's done is done. Let's move on. Put that one behind them, galvanize themselves, and go forward and get a win in this one.
Now a 2nd down throw for the end zone, but it's incomplete.
As a coaching staff, you can call just about whatever you want because you understand you have guys who reliably take away those massive shots downfield. You're not as worried about giving up the big one.
Watson. That's out to Chubb, complete. And he's brought to the ground with another first down at the Chargers' 19. They go up the middle with Chubb. And they'll bring him down at the 13-yard line. 5 yards on the carry. Good pickup on first down.
A quick burst there, and he nicely bit off a pretty decent gain.
The first down run got 5. Here's 2nd and 5. Here's Watson. And this one's incomplete.
The defender certainly didn't forget about him leaking out of the backfield. There was a guy ready and waiting to pick him up in coverage, and that throw had no shot.
Play number 7 now coming up on the drive. 3rd and 5. Faking the give. Now Watson. And it's intercepted at the goal line. Derwin James with a pick. And the Chargers are going to get the football back at their own 17.
And that felt like a little extra pressure on that 3rd down attempt, and their mistake cost them points because they're inside the red zone. So you know you've got at least a field goal waiting for you. And in this case, they end up with nothing.
Here's Eckler to begin the drive. This will be stopped about 2 yards shy of the marker. 8-yard gain, 2nd and 2. The success there, Charles, coming on the outside of the field, the ground game. Curious to see if that continues as we progress.
Yeah, we often talk about a variety in play calling and usually between run and pass. But in this case, with strictly the run game, you can be creative there as well. Run it inside, run it outside, keep the defense off balance.
A 2nd down pass play there, but it's incomplete.
Barton, I think he's got to be careful as he continues to try to extend plays because he's already been intercepted in this game. And the coverage, they continue to challenge all of his receivers downfield.
Herbert on 3rd down now. Trying to force it to Allen, and it's intercepted. Picked up by Deion Jones, the linebacker. And the Browns are going to take possession of the football.
For a team who came in here on a healthy winning streak, we're seeing some uncharacteristically bad play thus far. And that streak is definitely in jeopardy if this offense keeps giving the ball away and can't mount a few drives of their own.
On 1st down, they'll run with Chubb. It's a pickup of 4, and it'll bring up 2nd down. Well, this defense for the Chargers, they were fantastic a week ago in that win over Houston.
It was a little bit enlightening talking with the defense coordinator about their performance last week because the feeling was that it was a good solid.
And he can't find anywhere to go with it, and he goes down. Sebastian Joseph Day. Give him the credit for the sack and a loss of 14 yards. No score after 1 on EA Sports. And some secondary help here for the defense in the nickel on 3rd and long. Now it's Watson. And there is Amari Cooper, his first catch. And they're going to get this down inside the 20.
And that big gain may just change the thought process here on 4th down. I think in the red zone, they might now consider going for it on 4th down.
They will indeed snap it to Watson. It's complete. Swings it out to his running back. And they work this near the 5. He'll be stopped at the 6. Some collective exhales over there on the sideline. A big pickup through the air on 4th down to bring up 1st and goal. They'll run with Chubb. He gets him a little bit closer. He takes it from the 6 inside the 5 to the 4. Be interesting to see now what they do offensively down near the goal line after not much there that time.
As the offensive play caller, that may change your sequence now. Instead of coming right back with a running play, you may have to go to the air.
Chubb again. And this time he'll run into a wall right at the 4-yard line. 2 runs in a row, but only 2 yards to show for it.
His path became similar to almost running a stretch play, didn't it? Trying to find a crease, anywhere to put his foot in the ground and cut back. It just never materialized.
They've been denied touchdowns in the red zone twice already. Here comes 3rd and goal. They'll fake the handoff. Now Watson. This is caught. Touchdown, Cleveland. Anthony Schwartz, his 2nd touchdown on the season. And the Browns post the first points of the ballgame as they take the lead here in this 2nd quarter. And we remember, of course, all scoring plays need to be verified upstairs. And I think they're going to at least take a look at this. So they called it a touchdown originally, and this will stay a touchdown after the video review, so they had it right. Extra point by York is up and good. And that makes the score 7-0. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. The Charger drive about to get going. And it's been a miserable start for them offensively, obviously. 2 drives, 2 interceptions.
And this is where you have to know your quarterback and know how you actually have to reach him. Do you do it with a little bit of humor? Maybe you break the ice a little bit, like, hey, didn't we practice in that colored jersey all week, not the one that you're throwing it to? Or maybe you have to be stern with it, but whatever it's going to take to get the message, it has to be done. He's putting the game in jeopardy.
On 2nd and 12, Herbert. Open man is Palmer, finding space at the 40. And they nearly get this all the way to midfield. Mark him down at the 49. The extra effort after the catch makes it good for a gain of 26 and also a first down.
And this was a nice example of an offensive coordinator scheming his guy open. Just a little underneath route, just trying to free up some space, and it worked awfully well. Got him not just space, but plenty of room to run after the catch to pick up really nice yardage.
It'll go as a gain of 4, and that will bring up 2nd down. He was out there waving his arms, and when you got a quarterback out of the pocket looking for any help, I guess waving the arms is helpful.
It certainly is, because you got to get his attention, because now you're in scramble drill. So everyone's adjusting their routes, finding open space, and he found the right spot for the completion.
Throw right side is into the hands of his tight end, Everett. And he's going to be taken down right at the 40-yard line. With that grab, he now sits at 200 for his career, and maybe more importantly, a first down. And he takes this just a few yards shy of the red zone before going out. And a solid job using his legs. 16 yards and a first down on the keeper.
How about that there? No frills, no additives, right? Nothing crazy. Just find a way to pick up the first down. A nice run right there.
Working the middle here. That's complete to Everett, the tight end. 12 more yards there and another first down. 2 minutes on the clock, second quarter, 7-0 ball game. This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. Now it's Herbert. Now the pressure gets there, and he goes down just inside the 20 at the 19. Myles Garrett able to record his 5th sack of the season. Gotta imagine the pass rush will be equally intense here on 2nd down following the sack. It's 2nd and 18. Off the play fake to Eckler, it's Herbert to the sideline, and that is a heck of a catch as he was able to get both feet in. That one good for 17 as they're set up better now for 3rd down.
That's a good bounce back play right there after taking a sack on 1st down. Didn't quite get to the marker, but now they're in a much better spot for a 3rd and short yardage call. Through the offensive coordinator, you like looking at that section a heck of a lot better than trying to figure out 3rd and long.
And Eckler will not get there. Great defense at the point of attack and to stop him short of the first down. Tough sledding. They lose a yard there on 3rd. And his kick here is good. So a long drive gets him down inside the 5, but ultimately they settle for just the field goal.
And I have to think that if maybe they were a yard closer, that would have made their decision tougher, and I think they likely would have gone for it. But in this situation, they just decided to take the 3, and I think it was a smart move.
And he brings us out past the 20 to the 24. The Cleveland offense ready to go. And with a little under a minute to go, still time to try to put a drive together to add to their lead should they so choose. Oh, he tried to pitch it, and the ball's loose. And picked up by the Chargers. And a defensive-minded coach loves to turn up the heat, turns it up there, it pays off.
And back in the good old days, those defensive-minded coaches just talked about intimidating teams, using force, right, beating them to the punch. In this case, they're talking about creating turnovers. That's all they preach all game long, all practice long.
Touchdown, Chargers! Keenan Allen, a 14-yard touchdown. And the Chargers will take the lead here in the final minute of the first half. Extra point splits the uprights, and the lead is now 10-7. The kick unit on here for the Chargers as they will send this one away.
This will be fielded inside the 5. And taken down just past the 20 at about the 21-yard line.
The Browns drive about to get started.
A slim deficit here in a one-possession game. Not much time left, obviously. We'll see if they can march this down the field, at least get 3 and take some momentum into the locker room.
And a powerful stiff arm. It frees him. 30, 10, 5, and all the way in. Touchdown, Cleveland. Nick Chubb with his 4th rushing touchdown on the year. And the Browns are once again back in front. It didn't take too long for them to get that lead right back, did it?
No, it certainly didn't, and it's got to be just a bit demoralizing. You're charged up, you take the lead, you send your defense out, and guess what? One play later, you're right back in a position of having to go down the field and score again.
Extra point by York is up and good.
And the lead is now 14-10. The Browns kicking team out there now as they'll send this one away. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. The Charger drive about to get going.
And within trailing, there is still enough time to try to string a few plays together, maybe get into field goal range.
On first down, Justin Herbert. He's got a man, complete.
Well, he steps out of bounds, but not before he gets inside the 35.
A big play there just before halftime. 42 yards.
Well, partner, I'm not sure how this drive's going to end, but how about the way they flip field position there? A nice attacking play that picked up a heck of a chunk of yardage.
Herbert on first down now. They'll find Everett there, complete. The Chargers going to signal for the first of their timeouts as the clock will stop with 21 seconds to go here in the first half.
I know the halftime's approaching, but I don't think he's going to want to take a break. That's his fifth catch.
Yeah, they've really been targeting the tight end. Now, here's a look for the end zone, but that one's going to wind up incomplete.
Quick hands that time to knock that one away. Sure looked like a short touchdown, but able to get a good break on the football and force the incompletion.
An incomplete pass on second down leads us to 3rd and inches. A shotgun snap for Herbert. He finds his receiver, Williams, for a Charger touchdown.
Mike Williams,
as the first half is winding down.
And the Chargers have taken the lead here in the final stages of this first half.
Extra point right down the middle, and it's now 17-14.
So not much time to speak of remaining in this first half as the kick's away. This one fielded at the 5. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here right at the 30-yard line.
The Cleveland offense ready to go.
And with only 9 seconds remaining, with not much time, we'll see how they play this.
And he gets it to his running back, Nick Chubb. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. And we're going to get a timeout with 2 seconds remaining in the second quarter. A final shot before the break. Watson letting one fly deep for Cooper. And it's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect. So we have reached halftime. Intermission with the visiting Chargers on top. As we'll head down to Orlando, that's where we find our man Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach. And we welcome you back now. Alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin, getting set for quarter number 3 here. The Browns going to see the football first, but they trail here as we resume play on EA Sports. Taken in at the 3. And a decent return out to the 27-yard line. The Browns drive about to get started.
Well, Charles, in that first half, we saw a fair amount of offense on both sides of the football, and now the team trailing here will start with it in the third quarter.
And we both know this coach pretty darn well, don't we? Because his game planning is always on point. And now that he's getting the ball to start the second half, how about all the offense that you already referenced in the first half? He'll put that all together and come out with something really strong, I believe, to get things going here in the third quarter.
Another try after the first down sack. Watson. Now the ball comes loose, but this will fortunately wind up out of bounds.
I don't know about you, but I could hear and feel the sigh of relief all the way up here in our booth.
That was palpable. The sideline, the friend there.
No doubt about it. Ball goes over the sideline, able to retain possession, no turnover. I know his coaches are screaming, just hang on to the ball, man.
Now on third down, that pass knocked down in the backfield and incomplete. The Browns send out their punter now. And surprisingly, this is the first punt of the game for either team. Pulled in at the 24. 13 yards the tally on the return there. And it'll be Charger football here as they take over. The Charger drive about to get going. And the points, they have come fast and furious in this quarter.
You really don't want to be on the defensive side of the ball right now, do you? Because you're either thinking, my replacement may get an opportunity.
Your head better be on a swivel.
Totally. Or maybe I just need to get out of the game for a while because I just can't slow these guys down. They've got to figure out a way to disrupt these offenses. And typically, one guy makes a big play, and that can help change things.
They'll be looking for disruption on both sides right now. Give them 12 yards there. The Chargers have a first down. This is a counter play. Eckler. And a 6-yard gain gets him right around the 43.
Running lanes were at a premium in the first half, but he's able to find some room there, and he's hoping that that's a precursor of a big second half.
6 yards on that last play. Here's 2nd and 4. Herbert now. And he takes a shot on the release as this will be incomplete. They don't get the hook up there, but you really have to marvel at how precise he's been throwing the football these last couple weeks.
Oh, that's a perfect word for it, precise, because if you're at 70% or better 2 weeks in a row, you have a job as long as you want one in this league, won't you? I mean, let's face it, it's not just West Coast offense either. He's putting the ball downfield as well.
On Herbert, his 3rd interception. And the Browns are going to take possession of the football. So this offense moving the ball well, trying to open up a 2-score lead here in the third quarter. But now potentially a play that could have big ramifications.
Yeah, you've driven the ball down the field. Things are looking up, but it takes just one bad decision to throw things off the rails.
Rolling to his right. Drops it off for Chubb. And they'll work this down inside the 30.
As a general rule, offensive linemen like to know where their quarterback's going to be when he's setting up to throw the football. But sometimes they just have to get on the run, get on the move. He was able to do that on that play and picks up a first down with a nice throw.
On first down, it's Watson.
That's complete to Peoples-Jones. And he's going to get this down near the 25. From the 25, here's 2nd and 6.
Now Watson.
And that is going to be incomplete as he led him a bit too much.
Just too much air on the ball, and that's a missed opportunity in a game where you don't have many opportunities left.
So after the 2nd down incompletion, they'll come up now against a 3rd and 6. To the air yet again, Watson. He's got his tight end, David Njoku. And down he goes, taking it inside the 10, just shy of the 5 at the 6. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal. Up the middle, it's Chubb. And a minuscule gain of maybe a yard from the 6 to the 5.
Well, Brennan, we always know that once you score one touchdown, you're without a doubt. And so far today, he's got one, but was denied as he tried to get the second one.
And the ball smack dab on the 5-yard line. Here's 2nd and goal. Back to throw, Watson. And he just chucked that one out of bounds, out of everyone's reach. Maybe a wise call not to take a sack in this part of the field. It brings up 3rd down.
Well, defensively, they haven't let him just sit in the pocket and get comfortable, and that's opposite a lot of game plans in today's NFL. Ordinarily, you're trying to keep the quarterback hemmed in. In this case, they've brought the heat.
And he is into the end zone. Touchdown, Cleveland. Deshaun Watson keeping it himself from 5 yards out.
And the Browns have retaken a 3rd quarter lead. Extra point by York is up and good.
And that will make this a 4-point game. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. The Charger drive about to get going. And with 3 interceptions thrown already, we'll see. Do they rely more on the ground game here?
They may have to change things offensively to try and settle things down, not just for the guy throwing the ball, but for the rest of the offensive unit, because their confidence has to be shaken a little bit. And you just wonder, is the backup going to start to warm up a little bit over on the sideline?
Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. Back to throw here, Herbert.
And that one complete to his receiver, Palmer. And they're able to work this across midfield to the 48.
I think that's a big pickup for a 1st down, because when you run a drag route against zone, you're sometimes asking for trouble because you might run into a defender.
Yeah, well, there they ran into a 1st down, executed it to perfection. Back-to-back good plays have them on the move on 1st down. Sliding out of the pocket.
Herbert has it knocked free.
And this is picked up by the Browns. And to the 40-yard line, that's where the return stops.
Maybe some indecision there on what looked to be an RPO. He wound up keeping it, but that defense right on him to strip it away.
And typically when we see that type of indecision on an RPO, that means it's well defended. He had nowhere to go with it, and that allowed the defense to get to him and knock it free and make it a turnover.
Following the fumble recovery, Watson. And that's going to be too high, out of bounds and incomplete.
When defenses get to the quarterback that quickly, a lot of times it's called a jailbreak. It wasn't quite that fast, but fast enough that he had no time to look downfield and set himself to throw the ball. And as he tried to do that, he was hit and it forced an incompletion.
Rifles one, and that's going to be intercepted. Picked off by J.C. Jackson. And the Chargers will have solid field position here as they take over at their 45-yard line. They exited the pocket trying to improvise. That was a tough throw, and unfortunately, it wound up in the wrong pair of hands.
And, Brandon, when you're on the run, sometimes your downfield vision can get skewed just a bit. Now, the beauty of extending a play is sometimes your receivers find their way open, but oftentimes you end up closing down part of the field and bringing those defenders to the ball. And that one was picked off.
And as they come to the line, they will not be able to get off another play as time has run out on this third quarter. We'll return with more after this. This is the NFL, and it's on EA Sports. On 1st and 10, Herbert. He finds his target, Allen. Touchdown! Keenan Allen. 2 catches, 2 touchdowns here so far.
And the Chargers have moved out in front here in the fourth quarter.
Point after, right down the middle. And that gives them a 3-point lead. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. The Cleveland offense ready to go.
We certainly have a good one on our hands. They're trailing after that last touchdown, but now a chance for this offense to try to snag that lead right back here in the fourth quarter.
And this will be a gain of 5 as he gets it to the 30.
Boy, where would these guys be without his performance on the ground? That puts him over 100 yards now for the afternoon, and I tell you, he seems to be getting stronger as the day goes along.
Ball on the 30. They'll come up with a 2nd and 5. Here's Watson. This is the tight end, Njoku. And he'll go out of bounds, it looks like, right at the 40.
Watson to Njoku there for the Cleveland first.
Faking the give. Now Watson. Good coverage downfield led to him taking off, picking up the first down on a 13-yard run. Well, there you go. Save your best scramble of the day for a big-time situation in the fourth quarter, picking up the first.
You don't want to use it up early, right? You want to make sure you save it for that exact moment, that key time. And that's what he did, although you and I both know it wasn't planned that way. But what a nice job using his eyes, scanning the field, and realizing when it was time to exit the pocket and go.
And he'll be taken down here just shy of the 30.
And here we are in the fourth quarter, partner, to watch them drive for what would be a go-ahead touchdown. And you and I both know this is where you need a quarterback who can keep his cool back there. Not just for himself, but to keep the rest of the team relaxed too.
And Chubb trying the middle here. And he's going to take this ahead for right around 3 yards, but no more than that. Second down.
But that's just a pile of bodies there, and that's when you kind of find out who's a tough guy, right? Who can stand up and make a play. It was only a 3-yard run, but for both sides, they had to walk away from that feeling like, okay, I can stand up when the going gets tough in here.
On 2nd and 7, Watson. And that is taken in by Njoku. And he's brought to the ground with another first down at the Chargers' 13-yard line. A good pickup there for the Browns, 15 yards. Tell you what, he's been able to put the ball in some tight spots all game long. That throw, no different.
Yeah, a lot of people would call it a gutsy type of a throw. I think he looks at it as, I can do it, so it's not that big of a deal to me, and I'm going to keep firing.
From the red zone now, Watson. He's going to be sacked back at the 23-yard line. It looks like a loss of right around 11 there on first down to set him back on second.
Now that was a passer's nightmare. The front door totally shut down by the defense, so he kept going backwards, hoping to find another avenue of escape. It didn't exist.
Throwing on 2nd and long. Watson. That's to the right side and complete to Njoku. And they're going to be set up now with the ball at the 13-yard line.
Brandon, perfect defense in this situation would have meant that there was an incompletion. They would have picked it off. Okay, so they gave up the completion. But I really enjoyed watching how the defense stayed in sync, stayed in great communication. And as he dragged across each zone, you see him pointing, communicating. There he is, and they passed him off to each defender. Ended up making a nice play, even though it was complete.
And he'll be brought down well short of the first at about the 9-yard line. He did his best to just get 4 out of that, but not enough. And now 4th down.
We can make this one pretty simple. Locked up all of his progressions downfield, forced to get it to his running back. But how about the way they ran to the football and knocked him down to force a 4th down?
A lot of pressure here for Cade York. From the right hash here, should be an easy one. York able to send this one through. And we are all tied here in the final stages. So a big kick to get this back to even. And now the worry is, did you leave too much time on the clock? Because another field goal the other way, that does you in.
You're exactly right. You didn't get it to overtime yet. So now as a defense, you've got to think to yourself, you can't play prevent defense and just give up big chunks of yardage in front of you, but you also can't let anyone behind you. So you sit right on the line between the two, play the best defense you can, and not make it easy for them to move the ball downfield.
The Charger drive about to get going. Well, the offense coming back out here. Plenty of energy, ready to roll, looking to just add to what they have been doing after scoring a touchdown, Charles, their last time out.
And that's a great feeling to have on the sideline, partner, knowing you just won the battle against the opposing defense. And since they came off the field, I'll guarantee you all they want to do is get back out there because they know they have the upper hand on that defense right now.
So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10. Herbert will... Oh, no, he lost the football. And I think the Browns got it. They did.
Remember in preseason when we go to the different training camps and visiting teams, and we always would see the running backs working out and going through those gauntlet drills and, you know, guys either slapping at the ball or the machines. You got to learn to take care of it.
Yeah, they lost it there. Big fumble. Throwing to start the drive, but that one incomplete.
Work with me, partner. Take a deep breath, because that's what they're doing down the field now. That incompletion allowed them to exhale a little bit. Get in the huddle, kind of scan the crowd, see if any celebrities are here. Relax a little bit as they start this big drive.
Watson to throw.
And this is incomplete. So back-to-back incompletions, now 3rd and 10. And first things first, before you think about marching the ball down the field, you got to move the chains.
You're exactly right. Got to get back into focus here. Get the first down. That's what's vital to them.
So back-to-back incompletions, and that has them staring at a 3rd and 10.
Now Watson. Finding Hunt.
And they stop him up short of the first down as they get him at about the 43. Now the defense going to use the first of their timeouts as they get the stoppage with just over a minute to go in the game. The Browns send out their punter now as he'll kick it away for the second time. That'll go as a punt of 34 yards that time.
And they will take over 1st and 10. The Charger drive about to get going. Well, partner, here it is. They've got the chance to win the game. You'd have to think they need to get it near the opposite 40 to have a chance to kick a game-winning field goal. We'll see what they can do.
And you're right about that, because if we look at it in macro, that's what it looks like. But I think in micro, the head coach has already asked the special teams coach, what is he feeling? What does he think? Where does he want the football? What's the yard line we have to get? And he's already relayed that to his quarterback and his offense. They know what the goal is. Now the key, can they get there?
Now the Chargers will use the second of their timeouts as the clock will stop with just under 30 seconds left to go. It looks like a nickel set now for the Browns on 3rd down.
Herbert to throw. And he can't get a throw off. He's taken down. What a huge play at this point in the game.
3rd and 1, they opt to pass it, and the one thing happened that could not happen. They took a sack.
Yeah, I just wonder, is that an indictment of their offensive line? Did they think that they couldn't move them enough to pick up a first down there? Or was it analytics? Did they think about it that way? In any event, they'll be studying that in the future.
It's a 54-yard punt with a return of 11.
And control of the football switching hands here with very little time remaining in this contest. The Browns drive about to get started.
And Charles, obviously not much time left. I'm curious to see if there's enough for them to get into field goal range and try to win this thing.
And partner, you and I both know the save calls to kneel and just take it into overtime. It's also very tough to pass up a chance to win it right now as well. But remember, if you do attempt that, it's got to be a big play downfield and still leave yourself enough time to get your field goal unit out there and kick for the win.
Protection certainly going to need to be a bit better here on 2nd and 16. They give the Chubb out of the gun. And he'll be brought down here at the 28. And now here comes their final timeout as they take it with 8 ticks remaining.
I think we can safely say that those types of plays are the backbone of this offense. We know not every run's going to be a big hitter, but you know they'll take that type of result on each and every attempt.
And it looks like we've got a dime set here defensively. 6 DBs in the game.
Watson.
And that is incomplete, stopping the clock with 5 seconds to go.
Incomplete pass there is probably the best scenario going, because if he catches the football, clock's probably going to run out in that situation.
The Browns send out their punter now as he's on here to punt it away. Fielded at the 33. 4 quarters not enough. We're all even, and to overtime we go.
How much fun is this for everyone who's watching the game? How much fun is it for us to see this one get an extra period to get settled?
It's a little teaching moment here. Overtime rules. Remind us how this goes, partner.
Okay, so in the past, we had sudden death. First team to score wins, but no longer. Now, if the team receives the ball, scores a touchdown, they win the game. If they kick a field goal, though, or don't score, the other team gets a possession. And after both teams get a possession, then we're into sudden death. First team to score wins the game.
The Charger drive about to get going. And everyone knows the OT rules, Charles, but pretty simple formula. They go down and get a field goal, we continue play, but if they can find the end zone on this possession, ball game over.
And as meticulously as all teams plan for a game, I don't doubt for a second on that offense coordinator's play sheet, he's got some overtime plays that he wants to run. I know it sounds crazy, but they plan for everything. 1st and 10 all the way throughout the game, 2nd and 7, whatever. Right now, he's looking at that play sheet saying, if we get to overtime, what can we break out that they haven't seen?
A loss of 3 on a sack made by multiple defenders.
Even for a guy who many believe has become the standard in the league, Myles Garrett's 2021 was special. 16 sacks set a team record and were 3rd in the NFL, and he made first-team All-Pro to the surprise of no one.
He'll get this to Eckler. And some room to work. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. That's a 3rd down conversion of 24 yards there. Nice play.
And you definitely could make the case we might not even be in overtime had he not thrown 3 interceptions in regulation. But looking better here so far in OT.
Yeah, and when you think about what a coach is thinking at that point, because normally you've thrown 3 picks during the game, you might craft your play call and be a little more careful. Not in this case. The green light still on for him.
Drop behind the line on a nice play by Deion Jones.
Now they contend with a 2nd and 12 after the loss.
Now Herbert with it, looking to pass. Oh, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Grant Delpit. And the Browns are going to take possession of the football. What a big-time interception that is here on the first drive of overtime. And now, Charles, they're already knocking on the door with a short field. Remember, all they need is 3 points to win this game.
And that thinking just can't limit them on offense. The playbook should still be wide open. Get a first down, maybe 2. Do it safely. Nice throws that your quarterback can make. Nice runs that your running backs like. But make sure you get yourself in a position and let your kicker have at it.
So the opening play of the drive goes backwards. Now they'll come up on 2nd and 12.
Now Watson, his first throw of OT. He's got his receiver, Cooper. And he'll go down, but not before getting this inside the 30. A first down there on a pickup of 25. 2 minutes left in this overtime session, and still all tied. Now a first down throw, Watson. Throw right side taken in by the tight end, Bryant. And they're going to get this down to about the 17-yard line here.
Nice rhythm throw there on first down. He located his tight end, made it a nice easy pitch and catch.
Hoping he can break a tackle or 2. Wasn't able to do that there, but still good yardage. They go with Chubb on 2nd down. And on this one, he'll get to the 15, right at the 15-yard line. 2 yards on the pickup, and that's all they needed to move the sticks. They run it again with Chubb. They stopped after only a yard, taking it down to the 14. And I know you, with every carry, especially in overtime, you're just saying, if you're that ball carrier, hold on to the football.
Hold on to it, protect it, but not necessarily settling, because you're trying to get to the end zone. You're trying to end the game right here. And I know the defensive guys poking, clawing, raking, trying to knock the ball free and protect their end zone.
Yeah, like you alluded to, especially this part of the field. 7th play of this drive coming up, but a long way to go on 3rd down. Here's Watson. Dancing to his left. Hard throw, incomplete. Not sure what happened out there, but it looked like the timing was a little off on that throw.
Well, you know I'm a defender, so what am I going to say?
Great defense.
Darn right. They did something to disrupt that timing.
And he got it. The kick is good. In overtime, he's able to split the uprights. And the Browns are going to win the football game. But Charles, a very simple mission anytime that you play on your home turf, and that is to defend your home turf. And today, that mission was accomplished.
Look, every offseason, every preseason, the head coach goes in front of the team and says, the mission for the season, defend our home field every time, split on the road, and we'll be in the playoffs. That's why defending the home field is vital.
So for the Browns, they move back over 500 at 3-2 now on the year. And they'll get another home date next week as the Patriots will come to town.
Meanwhile, for the Chargers,
the loss will move them back to 3-2 on the year. And they'll look to get back on track next week as they travel to Denver to take on the Broncos.
Tampa.